And welcome to Co-op Guild. We got lots of friends. You know, it's funny that we don't have a cold start, and there's one person missing on camera.
We all know who that is.
Oh, he's coming in hot. Don't you worry about it.
Oh, he's stepped away real quick. Bairnt will be back. But yes.
Sorry, I don't have anything awesome this time. I apologize.
There he is.
But I did get the bank transfer did happen, so I am here, Steve. Don't worry, you did pay. I'm good.
Okay. What? I don't know what's going on anymore.
You can have my services for an hour.
Oh, okay, good.
Well, oh dear. This is a Saturday stream, man. It's morning.
Well, I got lots of friends say, hey, welcome. Good morning, Kate. Nice to see you here. Yeah, man, welcome. Bairnt looks different. Yeah, turned to a cabinet. Yogi's here. Welcome, Yogi. Let's see. Ryan's here. So, Alexis is here. Jason, welcome. Chris, Greg. Awesome, lots of friends here. And also, I apologize. I screwed up the bot initially. I forgot to I set the health in one spot, but forgot to set the health in another spot. So, but I think I fixed it. So if you guys rolled and it didn't register that you registered incorrectly, let me know. I can fix it for you. Hey, welcome, KRS10, KRS10. So you pay royalty. Yeah, we have to pay royalty. That's Bairnt. So. I should feel bad, Steve. You guys, I know. I
pay just to be on the channel with him. Let me tell you, it's pretty expensive. You don't even want to know.
$50 a bad joke.
Hey, Dan, welcome.
Every video I have to pay him. It's ridiculous.
$80 an 80s reference.
Oh, that might be a little error Yogi just discovered. Yeah, Yogi, you found a hack.
Shirt.
I'll have to fix that.
I got this shirt from Dan. He gave this to me at the con.
Oh, that's cool. Oh.
My new Primal shirt. Then he got the sad news that we weren't going to do Primal for a little while.
We're going to play Primal.
We will. It just wasn't the week we came back.
Yeah. So we're going to do it. Trust me. Plus, I'm going to do it. I love that game.
We could teach Steve it again.
Oh gosh, you guys are hacking everything. So sorry.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Let's get started. Let's
start the thing. I'll have to fix that
real
later.
Short one.
Let's kick this pig.
Picking really short.
Okay. So we're here to talk about Gen Con. We all went to Gen Con, which was an awesome trip. It's always great being hanging out with all these guys, and honestly, it was really, really fun meeting everyone there too, which we'll definitely go into. So we'll talk about all the games we played. We got some pictures to share, and just kind of talk about the experience. So fun stuff. Okay, so let's talk about getting there. I got there later Wednesday. You guys all beat me there.
Derrick was first.
First. I flew. I flew in, got there Wednesday, then went downtown and hung out with Stacy. We went and got our badges, and it was funny because I'd never gotten the press badge before, so I didn't know what to do, right? So I went over to the booth, and they were like, "Yeah, I don't have your badge, dude."
What?
So a little bit of panic set in, and they were like, "You have to go to room 2 umpty, one umpty ump to go get it." I went there and the door's locked. So I was like, cool. Panic setting in a little bit more. So I go back and say, hey, they don't have that door is locked. that door was locked. So what are we gonna do? And then I ran into Nelly from Nerdy Nelly's Adventures, which every single year she does a full Gen Con video where she films her entire experience, which is fantastic, and she was amazing. Finally, someone who knew was like, yeah, you got to come back at 4 and go back to that room to get it. So and then I messaged the guys and say, hey, if you have a press badge, you need to go to that room at 4 o'clock. And Bairnt was like, oh yeah, I know that.
Yep.
Good information. Good information.
Didn't know.
Good information to know.
Yeah. It was in the email that you got. You got a press badge and collected at 4 p.m. I was like, oh. Okay,
hey! I'm not interested in your logic and reason right now. I have a grievance.
Normally I'm on the side of Derrick here, but this time I'm on the side of Bairnt. I agree. I mean, I read the email. It was
So
actually, we read the email because we panicked.
I went
we
back
also
and forth and
panicked.
got my badge. Yeah, I went back and forth and got my badge. But before then, we went into the Crown Plaza and just hung out with Janet and her husband Gary until you all came into town and we got the badge.
We were also panicked because we were driving in and Colin goes, now, when did they close that press badge thing last year? Wasn't it like 5 o'clock? And I was like, yeah, I closed it at 5 last night. Well, we're getting into like 4:30. We're going to be cutting close. I go, let me just check the email real quick. So in my defense, kind of, I didn't actually check the email until we're in the car on the way to and it said 4 p.m. And they were both looking at it going, crap, it closes at 4 p.m. I go, no, it opens at 4 p.m. Really? I'm like, yeah, I thought it opened to like noon at 5. I'm like, that's how it was last time. So they must have had like a bunch of people coming in between like 3 and 4 or something last year instead of like early in the day.
When we went to go get the badges around noon, there was already a very long line. So it kind of made sense. It's weird that the press badges are separate. I don't know why. There's nothing else special about it, right? Except for the free coffee.
Free coffee. Okay, so those of you that want to know kind of what people with press badges get, they get to not have to stand in line to get their badge. But in the flip side, you guys, everybody can have their badge sent to them by mail, so they don't have to stand in line to get their badge if they don't want to. But we also get free coffee. They also have sometimes they have like some waters and pops and stuff there if you want those. And then the other thing they do is they do have a smattering of games that are going to be shown at Gen Con. So you have the ability to kind of open them up, look through them, see if it's something that you might want to check out. There are people there with their like little mini tripods. This is a prop. Where they have the little mini tripods and they're like filming it.
I love what a tripod is. Hold on.
I love that we're in a space where you have to preface everything before you face ridicule.
And that's really about it. I mean, and actually I used that room because I was interested in Sushi Go 10th edition, but we couldn't open it to see if it was the full game because it really didn't give you a good idea. And so they actually had a copy in there. So I was able to open it, look through it all, see what's in there. And I was like, okay, yeah, it is kind of the full game. It's not the party game, but it's the full original game. And so that's why I paid. And then I went back and picked it up at the con. Yeah. So they do have a lot of the games that are kind of showing there. They do have them. I mean, even up to, they even had a Games Workshop like new Vermintide box, and the people there are like, yeah, look through it, take pictures of it. We just don't allow you to assemble the minis here. I'm like, because I'm going to spend all Gen Con assembling minis.
Right.
in the press room with the box that I'd never be able to take out of there.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, so yeah, that happened, and then I went straight to the Airbnb because I got in late. But we did eventually all meet up there, and that's we'll start with the first game we played, and that is Mandalorian.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, we all sat down and played that one. It was all at the Airbnb playing. So Colin was teaching us. It was the first time I played the game. Was it first time for you? I know Colin, you played before, but
yeah, it's first time for me as well.
First time for you as well. Cool.
Yeah.
And for Bairnt, right? Bairnt, you hadn't played it before.
I never played it before. There's a question in the chat, though, about why it would be nice if press badges got you an hour early to the expo hall. That got vetoed, actually, years ago because people were taking advantage of the fact that there's limited amount of games in there sometimes. And so sometimes the press people would actually stand in line to buy the games before the doors open.
Right.
And now this year, it wasn't the press people, it was the vendor people. But we'll get to that. Yeah. We'll get to that.
The vendor people, that's the problem. They can never really stop that, but they are able to prevent the press people from doing that.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, so Mando was fun. It's we have a playthrough on Meet Me at the Table.
Did you freeze? Uh-oh. We lost Colin.
Something's happening with Steve. Colin's
Why
here.
did Steve fail?
I don't know. Colin was talking.
Why did Steve fail? I don't know.
Steve failed. Colin, you disappeared. Apparently, they don't care about your Mandalorian game.
No, but now
now
you're back.
You're here, Colin. I can hear you. Yes. Yes. I don't know if Steve can hear you.
I can hear you.
Okay. I don't know if Steve can hear you. I can hear you.
No, you can. Nobody can hear Colin. He's like super, super quiet. Yeah, and I don't think it's on your end because we were able to hear you. Now we can't. So Mandalorian's a game where you have different actions you can do with cards, which is pretty awesome. And depending on where you play the card, you're basically there's kind of like a what do you call it? A mechanic where if you hit a threshold, something's eventually going to happen. So playing cards, it's kind of like Myth. When you play the cards, it eventually activates the darkness cycle, depending on what number you get to. Because everybody's played that game, so I can reference that one. But as you play these cards, so for example, say you want to do a move action or something, like is there 5 different actions, Colin? 5 different actions. There's 5 different actions along the board that you can do, and you have cards numbers 1 through like I think it was like 6 or something, and you get to the number, let's say 9, and the first card was played on move that Colin played was a 3, and the only card I have that can activate that I decided to play, I could play 1 through 6. Maybe I want to play 6 and we'll activate the bad guys, or if I want to play a smaller number, that's great. But if you go over the threshold number, not only the bad guys activate, but something super bad happens. We found that out the hard way. But every scenario is completely unique in what you're kind of doing, but they all tie into the show, and they're all kind of chronological in how the show goes. There's 7 missions, Colin? You don't know how.
Yeah, you can talk.
See, the thing is, we can hear Colin.
We can hear you, but other people can't. I'm not sure.
Dad can't hear you. Oh, there's up to like 20-some scenarios. But there's 4 maps. So as you're playing it, see, I'm kind of the liaison here. So
yeah, something happened with your feed. I'm trying to figure it out. Sorry.
So basically,
Colin, just pop out and pop back into the pop out and pop
wait,
back
Colin,
in.
are you using Google or are you using Safari? Okay, because if you use Safari, it sucks. Okay,
yeah, pop out and pop back in.
Yeah, I can't get your feedback on. Just jump on the back end.
So it was a fun game. So good thing we started off with something Colin had to tell us about. We did not make it through the scenario, which was pretty. Oh, actually, I think we were about to win, and then we decided to switch to a different game.
Yeah.
So, but every character is also uniquely different, and there's like 6 or 8 different characters, but they kind of each scenario give you a recommended characters to use, which is pretty sweet. I was the Mandalorian. My goal was not to die.
Woot! Colin's back.
There we go. Can you hear me?
Yeah, they should be able to hear you now. Sorry about that, guys. Somehow your video glitched, and I couldn't bring it back up.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, cool.
So that was Mandalorian. Thank you, Colin.
Yeah, no, thank you, Bairnt, for explaining. It's fun. different objectives. You got threats on the board. Yeah, I would say I liked it much better at lower player counts, because I will say that at a higher player count with 4 people, especially with learning, it would be an extended period of time before you could do anything, because you can't do anything on anybody else's turn. So if you're picking up this game, I'd recommend playing it 2 to 3 players max.
Yeah, it looks like VGG says the best is 1 to 2.
Yeah.
I liked it. I wasn't. I was prepared to be blown away by it, but I wasn't. But it was still fun. Just
wow. You thought you'd be blown away by it?
It wasn't.
There was a lot of hype around it. Yeah.
I think that's what it was. There was a lot of hype. It was okay. But I definitely appreciated, Colin, you taking the time to teaching it to us. And it was fun to play games with you also.
Yeah, exactly. It was a good first one to start with.
Yep.
So, okay, cool. So that's the first one. And then I'm trying to think what we played after that.
What did we play after that?
We might have not played anything after that, honestly.
Okay. So
then late.
Yeah, so then that was... No, we played World of Warcraft after that.
No, that's a different day.
Oh, okay. So
we can talk about that if you want.
No. We can go into the Canje Thursday morning.
Jeremy says,
we played Marvel United that night. No, we didn't.
Yeah, we played Marvel United. That's right. We
didn't play Marvel United because we didn't have it.
Not till Thursday, because he didn't buy it till Thursday.
Yeah, exactly. That was later.
Thanks, Bairnt's face.
Yeah, Jeremy, I can agree with you. I think the IP is doing a lot for that game, for Mandalorian.
Yeah, and
So.
if you've seen the TV show, you go through at least the 4 adventures, go through the storyline, which is cool.
Yeah.
But I somewhat disagree. I think the idea of playing a card that has a value into a specific row of shared action selection areas is actually kind of cool.
Yeah, I like
that idea.
I think that's cool. I think that the implementation was the thing that was kind of meh for me.
Okay.
But I like that mechanic, what you're describing. I think that was the thing for me that I was like, oh, that's fun.
Yeah, definitely.
And I would say the hard part is you still haven't seen the full game. And this is something that I'd love to have a podcast on at some point. It's this new idea of, hey, we need to slowly get people into their games. And you start off with playing scenarios and slowly unlock more things before you actually see the full game. There are benefits and cons to that. And a con is that with so many board games out, a lot of times people lose interest before they actually get to the full part of the game. Because every time you play a scenario, the first 6, you're going to get more cards, you're going to get more rules and more things. Just give me all of it. Give me an option to put all of it in right away, because I want to play with all of it. I want to see the full game. So that's the other thing. But okay.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah, no,
there's a couple
point.
games that we played that did that. I wish they didn't. So
yes,
I don't.
Yeah,
I'm not a big fan of tutorial ones. I think one mission as tutorial is fine, but no more than that. So.
Exactly. Give me one intro mission and a possibility to say, hey, if you don't want to do the intro mission, you can play the intro mission with everything. Here's what you need to do to unlock everything.
Well, it's actually kind of what Madara did. They kind of threw everything at you at the beginning. They said, okay, now now that you've passed and got through everything you need to learn and having everything available to you, we're going to bring you back to kind of the beginning of the game. Like, here's what, now you get kind of some of the stuff, but as you go, you don't have to learn it. You've already learned at the beginning.
Yep. Oh, that's cool.
That is cool. See, Colin, Madara is cool.
Cool.
I got it. Quote. Quote. I'm going to make a soundbite of that. Colin said Madara is cool.
Oh, not. There was somewhere in there. You just didn't hear it. You were paying attention.
All right. And then we, let's see. Thursday is the first day of the con.
That was the 6 a.m. morning that you two were crazy and wanted to be.
We had priorities.
We were at the front of the line.
Yep. So Derrick and I woke up early. We got in front of the line for one specific reason. We wanted to get the Marvel United promos.
Yep. Yeah. And this is where some interesting things occurred. So we waited in line. It was a long wait. ... But when the doors opened up and we cantered into line, we didn't run, we didn't trot, we cantered to the line. We found that the line was already super long, and the reason why the line was super long because all the vendors lined up.
Yep.
And so I don't know how to feel about that, right? I mean, you're in the hall to sell your game or promote your product, but they would leave people at the booth and then they'd go to the lines and just stay in line and stand in line before the doors open so that they can get what they want and get back to their booth.
Because we were literally like front middle. Like as soon as they opened the doors, we were there, right?
We were already bending around the corner. And we were probably the first. We were in part of the first 5 people in line, and it was already bending around the corner because all the.
Did you see Chris?
Was it Dice Tower vlog video evidence of this cancer?
We were on that video.
Yeah, Steve, Chris, and I are on the Dice Tower vlog video of us cantering to the line. But I guess my thing is it's just a game. It's not it's not the end of the world at the end of the day. I think it's just more like it was like, oh, there's the potential for a game if they didn't bring enough copies for it to be sold out because vendors stood in line before the doors open.
That actually affected me for the rest of the con, honestly, because there's some other games I was tempted to go for, but the problem is we were front middle. We were like the first ones in the door, and we were maybe 50 in line.
Yeah.
And like, well, so, if this is the best I can do, and some other games I know we're limited to like 20 copies a day, I'm like, there's no way I can get it.
Yeah. Like Undaunted, the first day I think was like 20 copies. There was no way. Yeah. I think towards the last day they had more, but by that time I was like,
right.
I'll pre-order it and walk away. Because that's another good thing about this year minus the Spin Masters booth is that a large amount of games that people were going in line to get, it was just early release. They were all going to release to retail, so you could just pre-order them,
Right.
And you don't have to worry about lines, and you could go enjoy your con. Now, for the Spin Masters ones that weren't, you did have to roll the dice to see if you were going to get it or not.
Yeah.
But we picked up our witching hour, and then you just had to play a game to get the other promo. So anyway, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, we got the promos, and then we toured the hall. It was fun meeting people and seeing all the different games and stuff. So, saw lots of friends too. I know Chris was hanging out with us. He's in chat with us right now. So
yeah,
it was a good time. Let me talk about some games though, because we saw lots of games. So
let's talk about games.
What's that?
Let's say let's talk about games.
Yeah, let's do it. So I got a chance to see 0 Day in person. Zero.exe. So this is by Poodcat Games. Here's the image of it. Pull this up.
I'm going to say right now, this is going to be really cool because this is the point where Colin and I didn't see any of you until like 7 o'clock.
That's true. That's true.
Yep. That was good.
Yeah.
Fun.
Raphael, did you guys pick up the Godzilla promo? No, there's no way you could get that one. Sorry.
Yeah. The Asmodee booth was right in the front of one of the doors.
Yeah.
So as soon as it opened up, the line immediately queued around.
Yeah, there's no way it could happen. So definitely check out War Story. Okay. Oh, okay. Thanks, Jeremy. I'll have to look at that one. But here's Zero.exe. So this is one I've been playtesting. It was cool to see it in person. So this was one of the copies I have. It's kind of a dungeon crawl cyberpunk theme, but it is a deck builder. And so you're playing through different all the characters are very unique how they play. You have to do like this programming thing, which is pretty cool. Let me highlight that real quick. So 1 second. So if you look like over here, these spots on the player boards, there's a red, green, and blue, and they have different color on the other sides. But in order to play your cards, those have to be in the right colors and right positions. And it's and when you play them, those tokens flip over. So you're like trying to make these chains of cards coming out. It's a really cool game, but like I said, I've been playtesting this one, and it was fun to see. So this is one of those ones to look out for. It's coming to Kickstarter later this year.
And for the solo gamers, I had a conversation with the dev about, hey, is this true soloable? And initially he was like, he built it to be like two-handed. However, with that conversation, when Steve and I brought it up, he was like, we can make it soloable. Let's see if we can work it through.
Yeah.
Is it a stealth game, Steve?
No.
What type of game is it?
Really?
Wow. Okay. What? So adventure based? Is it what type of game? Yeah. What's
broadening his horizons.
It's like dungeon crawl ish.
Okay.
It actually has feels of similar to Gloomhaven from like the board and moving around the board and going through rooms and stuff.
From the Red Dragon Inn. It looks a lot like Tales from the Red Dragon Inn. Do they have different maps, or is this the same
different
map?
maps? Yep.
Yeah. Is it a book?
It will be a book. Well, it might be a book. Right now, they're looking at changing. It was going to be like the Tales of Red Dragon, and we pull out the giant map, but they're probably going to change that a little bit. So
that would be sweet.
So I don't know if it's going to be a book anymore. It was talked about being a book, but I think it's just going to be a big board now. So
okay, thanks. Yeah. Sorry.
Good questions.
Can I ask a question?
Always.
What was the name of that game?
0day.exe.
.exe.
Steampunk. Yep. Yeah, it's a cool one. Oh yeah, Terminus Frontier. Yeah.
Well, I'm doing that game. That game's coming. I'm getting the guy's giving me a prototype of that so I can show it to people.
Yeah, we demoed that one. Derrick
nice.
And I. That was a cool game.
Good. I'm glad you said it was a cool game.
Yeah, I like that one.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Yogi. All one word, 0day.exe. Yep, exactly. So, all right. So that was one game I saw there. What other games you guys want to talk about?
I'm trying to remember the days of games. The problem is that we waited a long time. So what were the days?
Just jump around. No big deal.
Wait a long time. You don't know our list. You don't remember your life in order.
Yeah, Colin's right. Let's just scroll down the list of just show whatever, and we'll talk about it.
Okay. So Thursday, I went to while these canterers were entering the vendor hall. Oh, yeah. I actually did not canter. I actually went to True Dungeon with Jerry and Peter from the One Stop Co-op Shop, and also Peter's brother Nick. We played True Dungeon.
Not brother, son.
Son. I get relationships mixed up. I'm lucky I'm still married sometimes. But yeah, we did True Dungeon, and it was super fun. I again had perished before I got to the end of the mission. I have yet to live through True Dungeon. There was perishing involved, but we did a lot of cool things. Those haven't done True Dungeon yet. It's kind of got a mix between puzzles and that you have to work together to solve in a room, kind of like an escape room type style, and the what do you call it? And they also have the combat stuff where you actually, the melee classes are more often than not using their shuffleboard mechanics to try to hit the monster in different places. All your stats are recorded on a piece of paper that's given to the guy when you walk into each room, and there's kind of a story that goes along with the whole dungeon and everything. And then he kind of every person, and there's a different person in each room is kind of like the dungeon master for that room, kind of what's going on inside the room and what you have to do to get through the room and things like that. But we made it through that one. There were only a few of us that died. I died from the fact that I did not make a saving throw on the last boss, and so I was instantly destroyed. There was sadness.
Cool.
But super cool, as always. So that's what I did at 9 o'clock while they were cantering.
Yeah, we're just meeting with lots of folks.
Then I met up with Colin and Zach, and we walked pretty much the entire vendor hall together. But Zach had to go to a what do you call it? A Star Wars Unlimited event at 2. So we went and got food real quick, and then Colin and I went back into the vendor hall, and that was the two moments. One is Zach had his time with Colin by himself, and introduced him to the booth of Kingdom Death, and kind of maneuvered him through it and kind of showed him the cool things about it. And then while he was gone, I said, well, let's start over here because I haven't been to this side of the thing, which was the Kingdom Death booth. So those who don't know what Kingdom Death booth was, it's all the way in the back, like the back left corner. It's the first one over there. And so we're walking by that, and I was explaining kind of the game, and he was asking a bunch of questions about it. And now he's super intrigued about it, and we're going to start playing that game. But we'll come to that later when we talk about what we're doing on our channels.
Yeah, the lines in that hall on Thursday were insane. There was one specific line close to the Kingdom Death booth where the entire row was just at a deadlock walk. People were just stuck. I wasn't sure.
We got stuck multiple times, Zach and I. We couldn't move.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what game people were lined up for, but it was caught like I had to actually cut through booths to try to get around. It was Thursday was felt very Saturday-ish.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think it was more. There was a lot more people there on Thursday than there were like last year when we're walking, because most of the time we didn't have much problems walking through. But on the flip side, 90% of the people that were there on Thursday were in the Lorcana line last year.
Yeah.
Yes,
that's true.
So that's probably why it's a little bit easier to maneuver last year at Thursday.
Yep. Yeah, so it was definitely the most crowded I've seen it at Gen Con for sure. Yeah, so I think we walked around, looked at a bunch of different games, but I want to jump to a game we all played that night, the first night we're there.
I'm kind of jealous of Jeremy. He got to talk to Pooch for 15 minutes. I probably could. I just always feel like I don't want to interrupt him because he always seems really busy, but he's probably he would probably be super excited to talk to anybody. I should probably get over that because, I mean, it's just like everything else. If anybody ever stopped me to say hi to me and stuff while I was walking through, I would love it. I think it'd be great if somebody said like, oh, hey, Bairnt, it's awesome to see you. Because like, why do I feel like all of a sudden I'm kind of being egotistic here?
No, just being hilarious.
Awesome. You are royalty. You know that.
So I guess in theory I should get rid of that kind of mentality. Just kind of go up to the people that I want to and say hi to them.
No, it's good.
I'd probably
also talk about
get
Saturday night because not Saturday night, Thursday night. Sorry,
Thursday night.
Because we got the chance to play Elder Scrolls.
Yes.
Which was a real treat. So
Andrew Santoro was really amazing to meet us after the vendor hall closed and give us it was Bairnt, Colin, Chris, Steve, myself, and Jen from Gen Cam plays board games, and Zach as well.
Yeah. Dan was there too. He was giving me guidance.
Who?
Dan
was there too.
And Dan was there as well, and we all got to play this game. It was the four of us playing. He set up just kind of a quick scenario for us to run through, and it was good. It was good. So thank you, Andrew, for setting that up. We really appreciate it.
I was more of a spectator than anything else.
Okay, I gotta tell the story of how the thing worked out because it just went downhill in so many different ways. But there was a legitimate time where Bairnt is playing, and we were like kind of a mage type character, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and he is actively trying to miss in the game to generate the resource called tenacity to like just drain health from enemies. It was so weird. Like I hit, nope, gotta reroll the hit. I'm like this. It was just
Yep, I was not wanting to hit. I wanted to roll misses. And even Andrew was sitting there going, I have never played a game where a guy actively wants to win.
That's right.
But I don't know how many times he's demoed this game. But I think that's just our shtick for some reason. It seems like every time we demo a game, we do something they've never experienced.
Yeah.
Like when we did the Dante one, the guy's like, I have never seen the capybara actually ever do anything. And bad guy.
And there was they asked me to, every single time there was a die to roll, they made me roll it. I told them no, but they still made me roll it, and the outcome of that was Andrew saying, man, this is really, really bad.
Yeah.
Multiple times.
It was like the quote of the day. It's like, okay, so I'm gonna do this. Let me read that card again. Oh no, this is really bad. This is really bad, guys. He puts like stuff out there. Oh, the assassin's there too. Yeah, the assassin's really bad. Like, really bad.
Yeah, it was a fun play though. I enjoyed our time.
We won.
Andrew, like I said, was a trooper. He was awesome running it.
We won the battle. I don't know if we'd have won the war because we did get
Chris was MVP.
On that battle.
Yeah.
Chris was MVP in that game with his bard. It was his bard.
It was awkward because we had a bard. I played like a healer with like sword and shield, and then you two played like archers.
He was an archer, and I was the wizard dude. I was a sorcerer or something. But I was able to drain the blood of my enemies. So, but only if I failed. Oh man.
Yeah, Dan, that's accurate. Bairnt says to Andrew, "Can I do this?" Andrew laughs uncontrollably and says, "Sure, you can do that."
Oh, Bairnt vanished.
And
he's back. Oh, nope, Bairnt's gone. He's frozen.
I like that face. That's frozen.
Somebody please capture that. I'm
yeah,
doing it. I'm doing it.
Awesome.
I got it. It's done.
Great. Great.
Even better. The one on stream is better. There's two of them.
Oh my god.
Dang it.
You lost him.
That is hilarious.
Hopefully he'll come back.
The dirt face
but it was funny because they were like all these ranged characters. We had no tanks, and we needed a tank for that. So
yeah. So, but it was good. But I said Chris was the MVP. The bard was just every time I rolled a die, he was there to make me re-roll it. So thank you. You just need to hit that guy once. Miss. Re-roll that die, Derrick.
Oh man, so good.
Oops. Not yet.
No, we can hear you, but they can't.
Oh, you can hear me. Okay.
Sorry.
At least I'm
I had
not
to fix it real
frozen
quick.
face anymore.
No, frozen face was awesome though. We had a perfect picture of you.
You guys are making me work in the stream.
That's exactly it.
Oh, I foresee. I can hardly wait for. I'm probably going to get some memes about that. That'll be awesome.
I'm sure you are.
I've seen your T-shirt in the future.
Yep. Don't give Dan any ideas.
Oh god, the crocodile collection.
Oh yes. So we were
right.
We had Bairnt read the intro because that just needs to be a thing all the time. And he was supposed to pronounce Cyrodiil.
I didn't know that. I did not know that word.
He looked at it and his brain just said, "Yep, that's so you're going towards crocodile collection."
Close enough.
I love it. It's so good.
Oh man. I love when other people can experience Bairnt's pronunciations. It makes me
I just feel bad that I'm like stalling trying to figure out a word, so I just pop the word in there that looks close.
Oh, so good.
That was fun.
Let's see. I don't have any other during the day we did, but we went back and I think we played. I'm gonna call it out anyway. We played Fateforge. I think it was the first night. Maybe.
Yes. Yeah, I taught y'all Fateforge.
Oh yeah, we played Fateforge. That was awesome.
We played Fateforge.
We played Fateforge. Not everybody said it. I love having Colin on here.
Oh, it's so good. Okay, speaking of Fateforge, nice chair. Speaking of Fateforge, they do the battle mode just came out. I think it was yesterday, the day before. So I'm excited to try the battle mode of that game. So
okay,
yeah, just to kind of see what that's like.
What did you think of? Because this was me kind of showing you all how to play it. What did you all think of Fateforge?
I'll go first. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I liked it too. I think the problem is we played the intro. Right? I want to get into the game. I want to see. So the intro is very basic, right? You roll your 4 dice. You can do maybe 3 actions because one of the dice are blank. But I love the idea of you have 3 rounds to do it, or a 4th round. You have a set limit of time to get your objective done, and you may go one more, but then you have to take, what is it called, desperation or something? Or
you have to take a corruption.
Corruption, that's the word. Yeah. So I like that. I do feel a little weird that you can't. I probably, whenever I play it, will not play with the dice shield because we don't have a problem with alpha gaming. But I understand why they did that to help with alpha gaming. But I liked it. I want to play it more though because we didn't have any of our. We had just our starting abilities. I want to see some of those other ones.
Yeah, you'll have to upgrade to get them.
Yeah, I could see what the game was planning to do, which is why I think it's gonna be awesome. From where we stood, though, there was not much. I mean, yeah, it was so limited in what we could do in that intro scenario. But of course, since it's a campaign game, you kind of have to technically start there. Now, of course, like Colin said, is the battle mode, which would be awesome to try. Yeah. But if you're playing the campaign, you kind of have to start there. I do like where it's going. I didn't mind I've played enough dungeon crawlers in my life where I don't mind grabbing the tiles and putting them out. I know that can be a big undraw. Is that even a word? To other people that have now gotten used to being able to use books and maps just on the table. You know what I mean? Where I think gone is the way of the tiles when it comes to a lot of the games that do this kind of thing. But I think the story seemed pretty cool. What Derrick told us, he didn't read it. He just kind of said, so you're going through and there's you're walking down the thing, and what do you want to do for the guards?
Because there's a lot there was a lot, and I wanted to get y'all into the game.
Totally if you would have read the story, it would have taken an extra like 30 minutes to get to where we were. So
no, it was actually really nice, Derrick. That was awesome. That was perfect. We got the cliff notes of what was going on, and then we could jump in. It was perfect because this is after the evening.
I think more games should do that.
Yeah, give us a cliff notes. That's
Yeah, there's one thing to keep in mind for people who are playing just to, as you're hearing this and you're like, oh, I want to look into that. It's an app-based game. So if you are not into app-based games, and I mean the app is necessary for the game for you to play it. And if you're not into that, then just consider that on your.
You'd have been just fine.
Yeah. But just consider that as you're looking into it to know that that's what's happening there. For me, I've always said I know a lot of people don't mind the tile hunting. It's to me, it's an antiquated medium, just kind of like the 5-6 mechanic on rolling dice. It's an antiquated medium, but there are ways around it, right? Don't let that be the reason why you don't. Just look into it. If you see that it's something that you like, get it. Just do your research on it. I have my thoughts on it, but develop your own.
Derrick's talking to me.
There was some developmental things they could have used to prevent the need for all those. For example, I know part of the app is how to figure out because there's at one point it's like something happens and there's potential some enemies will activate, but you're not sure which ones because it's like more of a reaction thing. And they could have almost made that a deck of cards. You shuffle up the enemies and flip over the ones that are going to react. I mean, that could have been one thing they could have done if they wanted to, but. But I enjoy the app. I'm glad it's there.
Yeah. So if you're into app-based games, it's a good one. Very quick play. It's made by the developers who made Vengeance Roll and Fight. So just like I said, turns are very fast, which is a good thing.
Yep, it's quicken. Also, the fancy names are wild to read. If you feel like you can't read, it's true, Jeremy. That's true. All right, we got a lot of games to cover. So let's jump to the next day. And the next day, we all met together to...
Oh, there was one more we played that night. We played like 3 episodes of Marvel United that night, too.
Oh, we did do Marvel United that night. You're right.
Yep.
Because you found
yes, we did. I suffered through 3 scenarios of Marvel United.
Exactly.
It wasn't 3, right? I think we only did 2 each night. 3 and 4, didn't we?
No, we did 3 the first night, like 1 the next night, didn't we? We did Mephisto. We did
Mephisto.
Not Mephisto. Who's the guy that? Who's the time
Maestro.
guy?
Maestro.
No, who's the Hulk guy? We did the Hulk guy.
Maestro.
We did
Immortus. Immortus.
Who's the other ones that were in the box?
Immortus.
Well,
Are
we
you
said that.
can
One.
you,
What are
can
the
you
others?
hear me? No, we didn't. We said Maestro, Immortus, and we did Emperor Doom.
Yeah, we did Emperor Doom and the Hulk one. I think we played 2 and 2. This one. They were cool.
There you go.
In case anyone
I feel bad. This is not my jam.
love Marvel United. But it was
Played
a lot
4
of fun.
episodes of this.
Oh yeah.
It was fun to
Thursday
play
I
with you
did
guys.
Arkham. Yeah, Thursday I played Arkham LCG. Ugh. We don't have time for me to cover what the problem is with that, so I'll talk about that later. I don't want to waste Colin's time with that, so
Yeah, this is
move
going to
on.
be a long one.
But I'll talk about my Arkham experience later.
Yeah.
But Marvel was fun. I'm still enjoying seeing how they can continue to expand on such a simple set of rules and still create unique villains, right? That do different things. So
Yep.
I really enjoyed it. I had fun. That was good.
Yeah, then next morning we got up to play Wandering Galaxy. We demoed that one.
Yes.
Which is really cool. And I don't know why people keep dropping. Oh, they're back.
Yeah, we just lost Bairnt again, didn't we?
Yeah. He's back, I think.
So I will say, if you're playing Wandering Galaxy,
Yes,
don't play it in the middle of the event hall in the morning. That made it hard, right? It's app-based. It's another app-based game. And so the story was great. But poor Derrick, I mean, it wasn't even facing you. The speaker was facing the wrong way. Derrick had the people right behind him reading a totally different story. And Derrick's like, what is going on? So not my favorite way to play it, but it is definitely cool. It is very similar to Freelancers and Forgotten Waters. But the ability to have flexibility of where you want to go versus it being quite linear in those stories is cool. I love the ship idea and each character having their own kind of class, that's very similar, but you have a deck of cards that you're using to do your tests instead of dice. So I think it was D12s in Forgotten Waters. It was D20s in Freelancers. And here it's a deck of cards, and those cards have symbols, and you're trying to get a certain amount of symbols for successes, and other players can take stress that actually goes into their deck to give you extra successes if you really want to pass a certain test. But yeah, the story was fun. It was nice and light at the beginning. We actually did a Gen Con specific scenario. And the only sad part to me was that we only demoed 1 page. That was it. But it took that long to get through that. I wish that Derrick could have seen a little bit more. I don't know, Steve, have you played? Because I know Bairnt has played Forgotten Waters. Had you played, Steve, Forgotten Waters or Freelancers?
I have not, no.
Okay. So yeah, it would have been great for you guys to see more than just 1 page, because there's a lot of unique things they can do since they have these different pages and what the different types of jobs and things that you can do on them. And so I was hoping we could see some more, but that's okay. It's still, the art was great. I thought it was fun to play. The story was mostly good if you could hear it. And yeah, I just recommend playing that in a quieter setting.
Yeah. Well said.
Yeah.
Well said. Well said.
Okay, let's talk about other games we played, because that was pretty fun. I'll enjoy that one. That was a fun one. Let's jump around. Jump.
Kind of like Crisscross.
Crisscross, yeah.
Oh, Bairnt, good to have you back, man.
I just saw everything going wonky, and I was like, "That's probably me on mine."
Yeah, don't worry, I had fixed it real quick. Oh, let's talk about this game. I also swung by to take a look at The Gang. So this was
gang, as in like a group of people banding together.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay.
Yep. So this was on my preview list when I was excited to check out. So I did play 1 hand of it at the convention, and it is basically cooperative poker, is what it comes down to it. It's if you think of poker and the mind and combine them together into cooperative experience, this is what it is. So it was pretty cool actually. So you're dealt your hand, poker hand, and then there's different chips. So you choose a chip based upon how good of a hand you think you have, and then you do the river, right? And then you do another chip to see how good how good you think your hand is. And the thing is, while you're trying to figure out how good your hand is, you kind of it's like the mind where like I feel like I got a crappy one. No, I'll take the 2. I'll take the 3. I got the highest hand. You know, you're trying to like with limited information in front of the table work that out together, and you do that over like 3 rounds. At the end of the round, then you reveal your hand to see if you guys were right. And if you're right, then the whole point is just trying to break into a safe or whatever. You're trying to get like 3 of them correct to win the game. 3 separate hands. So yeah, it was a cool game. I was going to try to pick up a copy, but this was one of those games that had like 20 copies only in the morning, and like I'm not gonna stand in line for this one. No. So,
Steve, what's the minimum player count? Do you have to play with 3 to 5? Would be my guess.
It says on BGG 3 to 6. So yeah.
Yeah, 3 to 6. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
So it's also not a 2-player game. So it's minimum 3.
Yeah, probably. It's definitely more of a party type game for sure.
Yeah,
So
that's what I was thinking.
yeah, it was cool. All right, what else do you guys want to talk about? Let's see. Let's jump to actually since I Quitter mentioned it, we could talk about Invincible.
Yeah, we played Invincible.
This game is fun. I don't know anything about the theme, but I really enjoy Invincible. It's cooperative Quacks of Quedlinburg. If you've ever played Quacks of Quedlinburg, it's a very similar experience where you're drawing from your bag and you're trying not to explode in Quacks. And in this game, it's Crash. And so the fun is you're drawing 3 cubes from your bag each, and it's all simultaneous here. Each drawing cubes from your bag and then triggering special powers that you have laid out on the table specific to your hero. And then as the rounds progress, you can put down more superheroes and even ultimate superpowers that can trigger after you trigger your superpowers. You can go to your ultimate powers, and it feels so cool. 90% of the game is really everybody just playing simultaneously together. The villain phase is so snappy. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. I felt like it was a little too easy at first. I'm taking a step back on that now. Now that we're playing the learn by punching card correctly, we were kind of using that to jumpstart us, and we can't do that, and so that makes a big difference because then it doesn't progress, right? Because with what we were doing is we were getting a free extra power each round in that first round, and then that really helps you for the rest of the game if you have more powers, right? So I still think it's on the easier end. I'll only ever play on hard, but I won't always use a challenge card. But it is fun. It's got 7 scenarios. Once again, the first scenario is an intro, which I think is great. It teaches you the game straightforward, and then kind of breaks you loose scenarios 2 through 7. I've gone through the first 5. I haven't done the last 2, and really enjoy them. What do you guys think of this one? I love this one.
I was really surprised by this one. We liked IP. We saw the first season. We're kind of partially through the second season, but when I was reading the description of this one, it sounded different. Like, is it a bag building? Is it a deck builder? Is it a tableau building? It's a weird conglomeration of like everything. It's not like any of those things. And the fact that we played a couple of times and you can change up how your character plays each time, I enjoyed that quite a bit. So yeah, and there's an optional way you can crash every turn. Yes, with Twitter. So
I have never had a bad experience playing this game. I have always enjoyed every experience I've had.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. So this is definitely one that I think we all kind of like to go check this one out. Invincible. So
even when you crash every time, and it's based off the comic book and show IP. If you know what that helps, but you don't need to at all because
I just wanted to say one favorite thing about this game is making Steve play the robot. He really wanted to play Adam Eve because he thinks Adam Eve is cool. And I was like, no, dude, I know how you like to play. You need to play as the robot because the robot is Santa Claus and you love being Santa Claus in games. I do love playing
Santa Claus.
Yes. And he was like, okay. I could tell he was a little disappointed because he wanted to play Adam Eve. But as we're playing in the middle, he goes, Colin, you were right. This is so much fun because he can give powers to other players and they can immediately put it down and use it in that turn. And yeah, I knew that he would enjoy that. So anyway, sorry, I just wanted to call that out because that was fun.
Really cool. Good one. Let's see. What else do we play? played a lot of stuff.
Is this Friday?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. We can jump around. Oh, actually, I know one thing we did play later on that evening all together. We played World of Warcraft, Wrath of the Lich King.
Oh wait, I did something before this.
Yeah, okay.
While they were doing things, again, I get to go play True Dungeon with Peter, Nick, and Jerry again. I got 2 times. It was now the first one we played, you couldn't bring chips from previous games, but this one you could. And so it was the 4 of us. And then you get in this room and you can kind of pick the class you want to be. And it's kind of first come, first serve in theory. Sometimes people kind of come in later and go like, hey, I can build a really good fighter. Who's the fighter? And like the fighter could give up the fighter, but why don't you be the fighter then? I'll be this guy. So you kind of, I'm actually surprised at how cooperative this game is, because even when you come in, you get these chips and they're your chips. And there's times when you're like, oh, I got a chip that says Bard only. Is anybody playing the Bard? And one guy across town was like, I'm playing the Bard. Here, take my chip. And it might be a really good chip, but you're just like, throw it to him because you're not going to use it. And it's better if that person has it so they can actually make it through the dungeon, right? And so we were all sitting there getting our stuff ready. And then 4 people came in and I recognized immediately that Nerd Immersion was there. He's a huge D&D YouTuber he does reviews and things of all the different things that comes out for Dungeons and Dragons. And I recognized him immediately. And I think he's played True Dungeon before because he had a backpack full of chips, like an absolute backpack full of chips. So he should have been like on expert mode, but he was playing it because he had 3 people that had never played, I don't think, before. And so he's kind of helping them like how they would do it. And they also I failed miserably because that group runs a podcast for Dungeons and Dragons as well, but I forgot to get the name of it. Otherwise I was going to say that too, but I forgot to get the name of it. And I feel really bad. And then we had another guy that had never played. Then we had like Lone Star, who was like by himself. Like we had us 4, and then those 4, and then one guy by himself, and then another one of the guy from one guy couldn't make it, so he only had 9. Well, so the cool thing about this one is we're going through, we're doing all the things, we're doing the puzzles, we're doing this, and he was basically kind of limiting himself on what he could do because he didn't want to like just kind of walk up and like boom, everything's dead, we win, go to the next room. So he really wasn't doing a lot of stuff. He was playing the cleric, so he was healing people, and that way we wouldn't die, but we all still got to experience the dungeon thing, right? But for those people that have played so many times, the dungeons are different every time. So he didn't know any of the puzzles. So we're all working together to do these puzzles. But when it came to the combats, he kind of restricted a lot of the stuff he could do. We got to the last battle, and I was the paladin. You'd like that, Colin. And so as we get there, and when I start the battle, one of the paladin's abilities, he can announce who he wants to protect. So it's like, I'm going to protect the rogue because the rogue had the least amount of hit points in our party. And so the guy's like, okay, protecting the rogue. So the first thing I do is I take 8 damage from something. Then he's like, okay, and then I'm going to attack Paladin. Paladin gets hit for 8 damage. I'm like, okay, great. Now I'm going to attack the rogue for 8 damage. I'm like, oh, wait, that's right. You're protecting him, so you can take 8 damage. And I go, oh, I'm out. And all of a sudden the guy from Nerd Immersion goes, no, you're not. Come here. We go over there and he like opens up his backpack and pulls out like, you know how people have coin collecting things? He's got like 4 of them, and he's like opening this up and he shows this like chip to the guy. He goes, I'm going to use this one. He goes, all right, Paladin's back in at full hit points. He pats me in the back, goes, go get him, man. And so we got done beating the guy at the end, and Peter and Jerry were like, congratulations, Bairnt, it's the first time you've not died. And I was like, yeah, it's because of him. Then we get chips at the end. It was super fun, and I kind of said thank you for raising me and all that stuff. So it was that, again, great experience inside True Dungeon. I've yet to have a bad one. I've done it 3 times now, I think 3 times. All of them's been with Peter and Jerry, which has been absolutely awesome. Sadly, I didn't get to see them much outside of that, but it was still super cool to be able to see them. And I'll see them again during fantasy football. I'm in their fantasy football league, which is pretty awesome.
Cool. Yeah, and then later that night we did play Pandemic Wrath, World of Warcraft Wrath of the Lich King. Is that how I say it? Yeah.
Lich King.
Lich.
Not leech. It's not something that sucks your blood when you're in the water. Okay, you know what? The best part is the guy who can't pronounce anything knows it's a lich.
That's right.
You are the one
Derrick, we're already back me up on this. He's just sitting down there shaking his head.
Oh, that's awesome. But yeah, we played this one. I've had it for a while, and so I just really wanted to play it. and I brought it because I knew it'd be something that could play up to 5 people. But we only had 4 of us, but we played it. It was great. We ended up losing that one, but it was fun. I mean, it's one of my favorite offsets of the Pandemic series. Now, I think it's because of the dice chucking. You've got cool abilities. The cards you use, you can all use them for free actions, or you use them for questing. I really enjoy it. So the only thing I wish that you had is more than just one boss. That's never going to happen. They're not going to do anything else with that game. So I'm hoping at some point someone makes a fan-made one. That would be cool. But otherwise, I loved it. It was light. It was fun. It was easy to play, considering we were all exhausted.
Yeah, for sure.
And yes, it is on my son's birthday list now. We played it at.
Really?
Yeah, we played it at.
That's
after
right.
we got back, we went out and did. We have a local friendly gaming store near us, and sometimes Ridley goes up for Dungeons and Dragons there with his friends, and we drive up too with Bennett, and we kind of sit, have a pizza, and play some games together. And that was on the like pull it off the shelf and play area, and so I grabbed it and I was like, I can show you this game real quick. It had never been played. Like I had to physically take the tape off, and I had to open up the components and everything. So it's kind of funny. I was like, wow, this thing's been sitting here. Nobody's ever played this game. So thanks to Colin teaching us that night. Now I played it with my son and wife, and he wants it for his birthday now.
Cool. We should talk.
I'm kind of scared though because he's starting World of Warcraft at a really early age.
That's fair. Yeah, I agree with you guys. This is one of the best pandemics out there for sure. So, for sure. Always a fun time. Okay, let me jump to another game. So this was kind of a random buy, honestly. I picked this up because our buddy Dom, who did the Marvel United campaign, illustrated this one. And that was Bomb Busters. So we played that that night as well. And this game is really cool, actually. This is my biggest surprise. Well, yeah, I'll call it my biggest surprise because I didn't know what to expect, but it was really fun. And it's a cooperative deduction game where everyone has wires in front of them, and you're trying to deduce which wires in which spot to cut all the wires. And you have to come in pairs, and you can only make so many mistakes before you blow up. Also, there's a red wire. If you happen to get the red wire, everyone loses. And there's equipment you can get and special powers and stuff like that. I'll be covering this on the channel, but I really enjoyed this one. It was fun.
This was definitely the surprise hit for me at the con. I did not expect this. When you kind of were talking about it and unwrapping it, I was like, what? Yeah. And then, no, this was super fun.
I got home from Gen Con exhausted. We played 4 games of this with the kids. That's how, it's so fun. And they loved the simple logic puzzle of it. So it's great. It's great. And it even works for 2. Not many of these games like this can work with 2 players. They actually have a really good way of making this work for 2 players. And so Monica and I have played it, and it works. It was great. And you can only miss twice when you're playing 2 players. So it's a lot tighter too. So you're every guess of where you think that number is, you're like, oh, but if I guess wrong, we're going to lose. It's so good. Mm-hmm. So anyways, that is one.
You did. Colin failed.
Yeah, pretty much. I picked the red wire.
Colin actually had a card that allowed him to ask one person about their entire board.
And I still failed.
And failed.
And then I was like, after I was like, oh, Derrick, was it on yours? No, it wasn't on it. Wait, what? Whose was it on? Apparently I stink. But it was great.
Yeah, this one's this one I will go check out. This was a really cool game. I like I said, big surprise. It looks like Jeremy liked it too. This is a good one. So
66 scenarios too. You'll never need to play all of those, but they do add variety. We're already on mission 15, I think now, and it's still being new, right?
We haven't opened any boxes yet because we keep trying to beat the next level, but each mission is independently replayable anyway, so there's a ton of game in here. So let's talk about the 8 real quick. So it was late. I was struggling.
8. Oh yeah. No, it's a 6. No, it's an 8.
That was so good.
Do you want to tell
had it all done. Steve was down to one wire. One wire. And now the way this game works is you can ask anybody about their board and say, I think that one is a 4. I think that one is a 6. Now, the caveat is you can only ask if you have that number on your board. He only had one number on his board. So he asked Colin if he had a 6. Colin goes, no, I don't have a 6. So it came back to Derrick, and Derrick looks at Steve and goes, is that an 8? And Steve goes, Why would you think it's an 8? And we're all looking at him like, well, how would it not be an 8? It's like, I already asked that it's a 6. Well, that was what was on his board. He was adamant. He's like, no,
I was very adamant that was a 6.
But he puts it down on the table. It's a 6,
and it's an 8.
And we all look at it and go, Steve, that's an 8.
That's an 8.
Oh man.
So good.
Oh,
And the
it was
best part
definitely
is the look on Derrick's face was pure bewilderment and misunderstanding.
We were just learning the game, and so Derrick's going,
"Yeah, he had no idea." He's like, Steve's going like, "How could you not guess 6?" He's like, "What? It had to be an 8." He's like, "Oh, Adam said it was an 8."
Oh, man.
And
So
Steve was
good.
even standing up, going like, "That's a 6."
It wasn't a 6 at all. So yep. Not my shining moment for sure. So
It was definitely a shining moment.
I have to give him so much grief now for the rest of his life because of my Paint the Roses debacle.
for sure.
Oh, his Paint the Roses debacle was the best. That is why I will never play that game again with Bairnt, because it will never live up to that experience. I'm playing that. I mean, literally, you have never had where you're working with 3 other people and you're all trying to logic out what's going on, and then he takes one of his cubes off, and you go, "Oh, okay, all right." So he messed up there. All right, so then you re-logic, and then as you're finishing re-logicking, he takes his cube and puts it back onto that same spot. You're like, what?
Because I know what it is. It's like, okay, it's red, green. You're like, well, it can't be red because otherwise there'd be a red token on there because it's next to this thing.
And so he dropped it on it.
Well, it can't be green because he put that token on there.
Oh,
Too funny. Too funny.
Anyways, that's why I will never play that again with Bairnt, because it's just, you will never make that experience that same amount of awesomeness. So
It's something.
There was another game we played Friday during the day. Actually, I want to bring up as well. That was Defenders of the Realm. We actually sat down and played a full game of this, which is really cool. So this is not the original one that I covered on the channel recently. This is a Legends edition. So it has a similar feel, but it's a very different game. It's different enough where like I would have no problems owning both. And also I would probably go to the extent that if you didn't like the original version, you might want to check this out because it is still very different. You might like one version, not the other. But yeah, this is where you are fantasy world. You're working together to try to take down 4 generals. Really nice miniatures in this one. The board is pretty cool. A nice 3D like city, and each character has a deck of cards, which it's a unique deck that you're playing through, and they all have different powers and stuff. So I actually really enjoyed this one.
Yeah.
I was bummed I didn't get to play it. Did you do it, Derrick? Yeah, you did.
Yeah, it was Chris, Steve, myself, and the person demoing, which was Marcy, I believe.
Yeah.
But yeah, we all played through a full game. It was a good game. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah.
Did they say anything on timing?
You mean how long it takes?
No. Time, like when it's coming out, or?
Yeah, it was going to launch this month, but they pushing back to fall. We don't know exactly when. So.
Okay, all right. So it's a Kickstarter.
It is Kickstarter, yeah.
Okay,
I hopefully will be covering this one. I give him my information and talk to the marketing person, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, cool. I enjoyed this one. And the nice thing is, I know Colin was first the question he asked: is it shorter? Yes, it's a lot faster playtime for sure. So, cool. There is now I'm gonna jump to something different here. It is
something completely different.
Completely different. So Dan, Dan Roberts actually right here. It's funny. I was sitting in the hall just kind of hanging out. I had this event to go to. I didn't know where to go, and Dan stopped by and he's like, "Oh, I gotta go to this event." And he mentioned Battleforge. I'm like, "Oh, I have to go to Battleforge." And we looked at time, like we got to go the same place. Cool. So we luckily worked together to try to figure where we're going for this thing. But
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting because like, "Oh yeah, I'll send you where to go later." I'm like, "Well, I gotta walk there. I gotta know where it is." So anyway, this game is by CGS, Creative Game Studios, same company that did Chronicles of Junagor and Dante. We covered Dante with the Capybara,
Cool.
sorry.
Now I wonder if
you're getting as bad as Bairnt here, Dave.
I am. I'm struggling.
Koopa Bear.
I was thinking of Chupacabra, so I get mixed up every once in a while.
Koopa Cup. Ah!
Capybara. So, but anyway, so this game, and I asked them like, can I talk about this game because it's unannounced, and so it's like, yes. Can I take pictures? Can I put it on YouTube channel? Yes. So I'm doing it. So there you go, guys. Go. But this is Battleforge. Honestly, this was my favorite game I played at the convention. I really enjoyed this one a lot. So how to describe this one? This one is, it's kind of modular where you choose a scenario and it's gonna be a book that you unfold to play in the book. And each scenario is going to be different, and then there's going to be a boss you have to take down. And the boss is you have to attack each different side, so it's kind of like got like a boss battle feel in it. But what makes this thing interesting is the characters you play. You actually play on a rondel, and this rondel you can level up, and there's a lot of decision space in that. Also, when you level up, you can eventually turn into a beast, so you can get like this super beast mode with the new special abilities and stuff. I don't know. This game was really cool. I really enjoyed it. This is very, very early. Like I said, they're going to do a lot of changes in the future. So you probably won't hear anything about this for a while yet, but I'm just sharing it here with you guys. Yeah, Dan says, boss battler, rondel, co-op, lots of dice, and unique hero powers. Yep, it's a good summary, Dan. It's very, very cool.
I got to experience this game as well. We were walking out of a hall where we were playing a bunch of games with Dan. I was walking out because I had to go pick up a dungeon cart. It's a Mario Kart kind of dungeon Mario Kart game that I figured my kids really like. And as we're walking out of the thing, Dan goes, "Oh my gosh, this is the guy that did Battleforge. I played this game with Steve. It's really cool." I go, "Oh, that's amazing. That's cool, man." And so I go, "Oh, hi, I'm Bairnt from Meet Me." Okay, and I should caveat this that no matter when or where I go, I stick my foot in my mouth at least once every year. And so this was my foot in my mouth maneuver. I reach over and I shake the guy's hand and go, "Hi, I'm Bairnt from Meet Me at the Table. I've heard a lot about this. Steve was telling me how great this was, and so was Dan." And Dan goes, "No, that's a content creator. The guy who did the game is this guy." And he points to the other side of the table. And I go, "Oh, great." So then I shake his hand and I go, "Hi, Bairnt. Yay." That was awesome. Oh my gosh, that happened. And then, of course, what happens? I then realized I have done 2 foot and mouths at the same time. One is I'm shaking the hand of a content creator that apparently I thought did the game, but I apparently didn't, and I don't even know who this guy is, so I did a lot of good on that one. And then I apparently look like a moron because I had no idea who this guy who did Fateforge, but not Fateforge, was it Battleforge is. And so by this time now, I am attempting to flee the hall as fast as I can. But he stopped me and goes like, "Oh, here's my card if you ever want to help me out with the game or something." Like, "Yeah, sure, come on back." I'm like, "Oh, good, he's going to remember me. That's great." Oh, yeah, there's that weird guy that apparently doesn't even know who I am and just ran out of the hall faster than he could say hi to.
Yeah, that was a cool one, though. Yeah, so be on the lookout for that one. I'm hoping whenever they're going to launch it, I'll try cover it for you guys because that was really, really fun.
Dan set me up.
He did set you up. Okay, and then we move on to Saturday. Saturday, we played all the games. All the games. Yes. Derrick, what game you want to talk about?
I didn't play. I played like one game Saturday, so y'all do this.
Okay.
Saturday was I'll just say for me, it was a self-inflicted wound. So, and that is all I'll say about Saturday. These guys had a blast, so go for it.
You played Nemesis with us for most of the game.
I played Nemesis like I was in and out of that. I was in
you actually played about over half the game.
But you were. I want to give it up to Bairnt. Bairnt was like MVP pro because he ran Nemesis. People were popping in and out, and Bairnt got through it. He put his head down and he just kind of played the game, got through the whole thing. It took a very long time to play, and we did win.
We did.
So kudos to Bairnt for like powering through that one.
I will admit, I actually it's really cool because we got a lot of people jumping in and out. Josh stopped by. He actually lives in Indianapolis. He got to jump by. He got to play Nemesis with us. That was awesome. He also played a couple other games with us. Dan played with us for a little while. Zach played with us for a little while. Colin was in there. Derrick played a little bit. The only person that didn't was Steve, because Steve has an aversion to Nemesis because he doesn't like the way the enemy attack.
Doesn't have health.
Yeah. No, he doesn't. It's not stealth based. There's no stealth in it, so he doesn't play it. But no, we did have a really good time with that one, and I love being able to bring that to the table and show everybody it. But I will say it's the one thing I can do on that day, and the rest of it is I'm going to sit back and just enjoy all the other games. It's not that it's a lot to run. It actually is. It's a lot to run, but it's also fun to see what people do and how they try to do figure things out. Like, oh, if we go here and do this, and we always play cooperative. We don't play competitive or semi-co-op version of the game, though sometimes it turns into that. This one, we actually had nice people playing. Nobody threw grenades at each other. We didn't shut doors on each other. So it was overall a very cooperative experience. And I actually admit, I thought there was times when, well, except for the fact that Zach took the rover without anybody in it and just took off. That was pretty amazing. I'm just going to go over here. There's people in the room, and they're like, "Oh,
see you, Dan."
See ya, bye." That was how it was. But no, it was a good experience. Good experience. And sadly, I wanted to introduce a new group of enemies, but I didn't bring the expansion box, and I didn't know I needed it until after we got there. So I feel really bad about that. Next year, I am going to bring. Actually, next year I'll probably bring Retaliation because that'll be out. But we'll see how it all transpires. So yes, Nemesis is always tons of fun, no matter who I play it with or when I play it with. I always have a good time. But before we did that, actually, we played some Daybreak.
Yeah.
Which was always a fun game.
Yeah, I think I got to play 2 rounds of that before I had to go pick up the food.
No, you played all of Daybreak with us. We won. It was you, Bairnt, myself.
Did I actually get through that one? Oh wow!
You played, yeah. It was the very beginning of the day.
I love that game.
Daybreak's
I really
awesome.
do. I know there's a solo mode in it, but it doesn't compare. That game is. I feel like that game is like a 3+ player game for the sweet spot for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's one I kind of want to pick up at some point. Because I know we played it when we visited you, Colin, and ever since then it's been on my list to get. So yeah, really, really fun.
Yeah, was that a preview copy or something that Colin, that you had, or was that I'd never heard of that game or seen it released anywhere. That's why I was like, oh, okay.
My buddy Brent, it's actually his copy. He showed it to us, and I asked if I could hold on to it for a little bit because Monica really enjoyed it. So yeah, and then I've just been playing a ton out of it. It's just great. It's Tableau. It's cooperative Tableau building. You don't do that very often. Most of those games are engine builder, Tableau builders, are competitive. You're just kind of doing your own thing, heads down. And there's still some of that in the game, your heads down, but there's so many cool things where, hey, you need this tag. Oh, I have a way to give you that card. You can use that. Oh, hey, we need some more oceans or forest. Tap this. I'm going to flip those in there. There's global projects you can work on together that then can impact the game. And then you were, Derrick, doing all the crazy flip all the crises cards. And then we could get rid of one, right? And so we know what the crises were going to be. Super, super cool. It's a great game. I do think after you play it multiple times, you want to add the challenge cards, but that's why they give it to you. So,
well, that's if you play it correctly.
I wasn't talking about that. I played that so many times 4-player that when I went to only 3 or 2-player, I still used the 4-player of the thermometer. So guess what?
Oh, gotcha.
You weren't moving up that nearly as fast. The temperature wasn't moving up as fast.
Yeah, I love the win condition of that game because the win condition is when you reach a tipping point, the game ends. Yeah. It's not, oh, you have to reach the tipping point and then get back down. It's as soon as you're like, yep, we can go and we can make it the temperature go down, we won the game. And I really like that mechanic.
Yeah. So it's a good one.
So I wasn't going to mention this right this second, but since Raphael, you brought it up already, I'll go a little bit out of order of what we played. But yes, we did play Earth Under Siege. So very fortunate. Had the designer stop by with his production copy, and so we got a chance to play this one. And this is one of the sci-fi games I just really enjoyed. It's delivering later this month, if I remember correctly. But this is basically XCOM, the board game in a sense, like thematically, right? Because you are playing as these. Sorry, mentioned too many things here. You're playing as a elite group that are infiltrating bases that have taken over by aliens. You're trying to take them back, and it's very heavy tactical play. Very heavy tactical play. Because you can play cards from your hand to do like different things. You can boost them. There's dice rolling, but you can make it dice by discarding other cards to do it as well. There's camera systems and stuff, and we had a lot of fun with this one. It was me, Chris, Chuck was playing, and Jess was playing. So the four of us, and then the designer Steve was teaching us as we played. It was just the intro scenario. But yeah, we had a lot of fun. We had the people run to the camera station and take out the operators, so we don't have to work with the cameras anymore. I was, and Colin, you would probably not be surprised by this. I was playing as a scientist, so I got into the alien tech and learned that and gave them out to people. They're like, here, you get it for alien tech. You get alien tech. So
Santa Claus.
Exactly. But no, this one I can't wait to bring it to the channel. It was really fun. So. Yeah,
I got to watch it. I sat next to Steve for a good bit and watched it because I did pre-order this one, so I'm excited to actually play it too. But I got to watch and see Chris wreak havoc to a lot of things. He had some, I can't remember which character he was playing. Someone from Alien. Bairnt, you would love all the Alien references in the game. There's just
no way.
Alien references
all over, man, all over.
Was he Dallas?
What, Vasquez? Maybe was
Vasquez is reference.
Vasquez
Yes.
is in the game.
Yeah,
Vasquez is reference. Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And anyways,
I got No Time to Bleed too. Is a card and stuff.
Yes, I No Time to Bleed is a card.
Yeah.
No way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you'd enjoy that. Anyways, so I'm excited for it too. Yeah.
It was fun. Chandler Kim's violence in this one. Yes. Chris.
Kill everything.
Yeah.
Cool.
No, really fun game. I'm looking forward to it. Ton of gameplay, and found out a little while ago that he's planning to bring this back to Kickstarter later this year with an expansion. So you guys, if you missed out on it, you will definitely get a chance to get it. So yeah, the best defense is going full auto. That is a quote on one of the cards in the game. So it's a fun one. Okay, so that was that. But let me jump back. We also played some other stuff because I know while you guys are playing Nemesis, I was running some other games. We started off with where is it? I'll just briefly mention it, but we played Paint the Roses. I think this is a great game to start the game nights with because people can join in the middle of a game or leave in the middle of a game. It's really flexible. So we're playing a bit of that. We didn't finish it though. What's that?
Unless you're Bairnt.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, we played that one, and then we switched to, when people showed up, we switched to Slay the Spire, which is an amazing game. I love this game. I never get tired of playing it. I know it was it Chris, Jess, I forget who else the fourth was. We had two, it was Alexia. Yeah. I think she was the
Alexis.
Alexis, thank you. Yeah. Yeah, I think there was the four of us played it. Yeah, Alexis was it. Thanks, Chris. We usually played one act, but it took a while. It takes a while to play, but it's a great game. So, oh yeah, thanks, Tim. Earth Under Siege is on BackerKit now for pre-sale. Thank you. I did forget about that. So you can actually buy it right now. So he's selling his overstock. So, and you guys played some other games too. I have on the list.
Alexis, Jess, Chris, and I played Marvel United. We did do that one. After that was towards the end, though.
Yeah, you guys played a bunch of games with that one too. And that was the first time Alexis and Jess played it, right?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah.
And so we played the first time, and they were like, "All right, y'all moving a little too fast," because Chris and I are in the groove of playing the game. So we reset up for a second play, and we and they ran it, and we just was like, "If you have any questions, let us know," and we still coordinated and played our cards. And at the end of that, it was like they were both sold. So yeah, we're Marvel United fans.
Oh yeah, those good times. Let's see. I think.
Well, Bairnt, you just changed locations. Look at you. We also played Battle for Greatport.
Yes. Yeah.
That was a blast. It was a little overwhelming with teaching 5 people to play.
But you did a great job. You did a great job.
There's a lot going on in that game with 5 people. But I love that game because everybody can play cards on everybody's turn. So it's very cooperative. And we played against the dragon and we got our butts handed to us in the last scenario, because there's 3 encounters. But it was super fun to play. It was fun to see it. Can I do this? Can I do this? No, you can't do that thing. Can I do this? Okay, yeah, you can do that. Yeah, sure. Anyways, it was fun. It was fun. I love that game. It works really well with the 5-player count. If everyone knows. If everyone doesn't know the game, it works. It's a lot of work to keep it going.
Yeah.
But it was fun.
But you did a great job of it, so thank you.
That was good.
You were amazing.
And then that evening we played Unsettled.
Yes.
So we played Unsettled with Zach, and I got to try finally the Black Ops scenario or Black something scenario where Luna is actually bad. Not that she means to be bad, but she thinks that you're someone that's bad on the ship. And that was super cool. It was very unique, a very unique scenario. And I got to play with Bairnt and Zach, so that's always a blast. So every time I play that game, it reminds me how much I love it because I love how it looks on the table. I love the fact that enemy activations are so fast. You're always doing things right with your focus cubes. You've got so many different ways to cooperate together. Yeah. So I really enjoyed playing Unsettled together. And it's a game I'm never going to get rid of. So loved Unsettled.
Mm-hmm.
No.
It was my was it 2020? Or maybe 21. Most regrettable decisions is the fact that I didn't steal it from Colin.
I still have it in my house. He hasn't stolen it yet. Actually, I let him borrow it for a couple months.
You did let me borrow it. I never got a chance to play it.
Never played it. See, I don't feel bad.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, don't ever feel bad.
There was another game I played first time, and that was Landmarks.
This was Peter's game he was super excited about.
Yeah, I was not sure what to expect of it because it looked kind of bland, honestly, but it was actually really fun. And so Chris was the one that taught us that, and the whole point is there's a clue giver and everyone else is trying to guess stuff, and what you're doing is I can pull this up. What you're doing is you're trying to get people to move to different specific spots. So, for example, in this example, this little... Oh, hold on, it's not going to work. Hold on 1 second. My screen's going to be all messed up.
Why is my name on the board?
Yeah, I told you this, remember?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so what you need to do is you need to get people to the exit, which is right here. So I need to get them to this spot on the board. But you start with some of these tiles on the board already. So in this one, fun, word, and game were the starting ones. And so then I had to write down words to try to get them to place tiles next to them in different spots. So fun word game, I wrote down code names thinking they would put it in between touching all of them, but they didn't. They put it, well, Steve might not think it's fun, so I put it over here. Dang it. So I had to think another fun word game, illustrations. That worked. And then started getting to what's a fun word? And I wrote down oofta. You say it all the time, Bairnt. Then I was trying to get to the Bairnt, what's oofta and fun? I'm Bairnt, it does this. Oh my gosh, it was so funny. So we did get treasure, we did get to the exit, and you have to get water to refill tiles and stuff. There's curses stuff on it. I really like this game. This game is cool. I might have to pick this one up. It's a really very approachable game. So but yeah, I remember I called you over Bairnt, you gotta go look, you're on the board. So...
Right, I'm on the board. Oh, I'm immortalized in gaming. Sadly, it's a dry erase marker.
I was very confused with Oofta. Yeah, that was a little bit of a deep cut there. So
a deep cut.
Cool. I think we've gone through a lot of games, guys.
And there was Raphael says once you guys finish covering the games, I would like to hear about the food scene. So
oh yeah, we can talk about that.
Oh, yeah. Before we do that, can I talk about one more game?
Sure. Yeah, do it.
Not really quick. So we played Ziggurat. Actually, I didn't play it at the con, but I bought it at the con and brought it home. and there's not a lot of buzz about it. I still don't know if it's an amazing game, but if you have a family with kids between the ages of like 8 to 12, I really recommend this one. It's a 6 scenario campaign style game where the kids get to open up things and put stickers on their little character sheets. My kids are loving this. And it's actually it's got 4 different levels, and you start the game with the easiest rules possible. You're just trying to get to the top. You have 1 card in your hand, or it's laid out on the table. When it's your turn, you play the card. You get to either move your character or someone else's character. The amount of spaces that it says on there, trying to get to ladders to go up. You don't want to land on shoot spaces because then it shoots you down. And then you have to move these fire spirits around. And these fire spirits, if they touch you, you automatically lose the game. So you're trying to manipulate where the fire spirits are while trying to get your friends and yourself up to the top of the ziggurat. And then there's little pits that you can hopefully get the spirits to walk into the pits. Then they drop and they go inside of the ziggurat. And then, spoiler alert, there's something that you put inside the ziggurat, which is kind of cool. The kids like. So it's one that I would not recommend for players that play a lot of games like us. But if you have kids who like to play lighter games, quicker games, I highly recommend it. It's super fun. I believe it's going to be replayable at the end of it. I don't know, but if I get at least, right now we've already played it 8 times and we're only on scenario 3 because we've lost a few times. I'll get my money's worth playing that game at least 15, 20 times. So anyways, that was one that I enjoyed a lot and had no idea. I'd never heard of it. And the art is super cute. The art is super cute. And then the funny thing is there's they don't have anything in the gameplay, but the kids love this. For each scenario, they have, the first player that does this, you get a title. And so my son was the first one to get burned by a living spirit. So he was called the Charred. And then, I can't remember the other one. He did something else funny. And so now every time we see his character sheet with these 2 little keywords, we know what happened during that scenario and laugh about it. It's kind of a fun thing. So anyway, sorry, that was the last game I want to make.
That was good. That was good. There was also one other game that Steve and I got to see after Saturday, like late Saturday evening. We went to the Open Owl Studios event that they had. I know that Bairnt, you and Colin went back to the Airbnb, but Steve and I went there and we got to see Storyfold, which is the next upcoming game from Open Owl Studios. It is a solo-only adventure, which immediately got my attention. And it is a card-playing story-based adventure where I don't know what's happening.
Bairnt's dropping things.
Oh, gotcha. As you are the story goes, like the card play goes, like if you're moving down a stream. So things kind of come into that queue or that stream that you have to deal with, and as you move it out, the pictures on the cards actually evolve into telling a narrative.
Yeah.
So there's a story that's there, but there's also the cards playing to that narrative and story. Where, for instance, I think it's you are a little girl and you have a bear friend with you. So if you get into trouble, you actually flip the cards, and when you do, the bear actually stands in front of her, protecting her. But when you're regularly walking, it's her like riding on the bear and moving through the story. And as like threats come in, the art on the cards themselves play to the threat, so it lines up in one big panoramic picture.
It's really cool premise, like just beautiful layout. And actually, the other thing that's really neat is because the board, it unfolds, right?
Yeah.
And so if you want to save your space, all you do is use those panels as bookmarks, and you're good to go.
Yep. And the entire board is a book.
Yeah.
So it plays like it's in a story setting.
Yeah.
It looked cool. Brandon just went over the gameplay and the vision that the designer had for it, and it's just I'm very interested in this game. Not only because it's solo, but what it's offering. I'm very, very interested in seeing this.
Yeah, when I saw that game, my first thought in my mind was like, this seems like a Derrick game for sure. So yeah, very much in your wheelhouse.
It looks very, very cool. But check that out. It has not come out. It hasn't launched on crowdfunding yet, but it's going to be called Storyfold Wildwoods. It's going to be...
I don't know if it's going to be later this year or not. I can't remember when they were going to announce that. I forget, but yeah.
Yeah, hopefully, I can swindle them into letting me do a preview of it, which would be great. So you could all see it, but hopefully I'll keep being like, "Hey, remember me? I'm that guy that knows these 3 famous content creators. Can I play too?"
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, Derrick. I mean, drop things here. I actually got a message texted me to Zach from Zach, and he goes, "Are you looking for spiders?" If you haven't noticed, I'm kind of looking around. Like, my painting table has been overtaken by spiders, and so I'm definitely afraid of them. That's why I haven't had any painting streams in a long time. Is I have to build up the courage to clean my painting station. But every time I'm going to, I see like a couple spiders hanging out here, and I'm like, "Ooh." So this undisclosed location is actually a horror story for me right now. So that's why I'm a little distracted here. I apologize.
Okay. We talked about this with I got very vulnerable with the guys about how I feel about stuff during I think it was Saturday night, because all of them were saying, "Derrick, you didn't look like you had any fun. What was going on?" And so I was like, I have like this weird thing of imposter syndrome where I'm like, these guys have been in it for a while. They put in their time. They know what they're doing. So therefore, who the hell am I, right? And so they've been very kind about trying to tell me to knock it off and slap me into some sense, which they need to do from time to time. And what was interesting was the Elder Scrolls thing was a long shot, right? It was CTG they don't care who I am. So I was like, and someone mentioned, I can't remember his name, but thank you for doing, but on one of their streams, someone mentioned my name saying, "Hey, you should have Canje Studios cover this thing." And they were like, "Yeah, if anyone's interested, contact this number." So I emailed them and said, "Hey, I'm that dude from the chat that Canje can I play your game?" And they were quick to respond. Andrew from the media, Andrew Santoro was quick to respond and say, "Yeah, no problem, 100%. We can do that demo for you." Um, I'm gonna be real vulnerable again. The only reason why I was in my head, the only reason why I was like, they said, "Yeah, let's do it," is because I was like, I'm gonna have Steve, Bairnt, and Colin with me. But that wasn't the case at all. They were just like, "Yeah, no problem." And then after we did the playthrough, I was just like, "So preview copies, right?" And he was like, "Yeah, come by Saturday." And when I went by there, he just hefted them. I thought it was going to be the same, they went through the entire con, but no, he gave me a brand new box of to do of a preview content to play, which I've been spending that's why you haven't seen my streams. I've been spending all week learning this game for tomorrow. And so, but it was really nice to do it. It was just, like I said, I struggle with imposter syndrome.
I think we all get that too at different phases, But yeah, no, Derrick, you're legit, man. You got everything going for you. So,
but yeah, they've been kind about it, and I really appreciate allowing me to be vulnerable to be able to state what's going on with me. Because
lots of love in the chat right now, by the way, Derrick. So.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Saturday was another one where like it came in where it was. Steve and Bairnt Colin put a lot of work into trying to get everybody together, make sure everybody's playing some games and stuff. So I became sentry mode of Saturday, where it was, "Do you need anything?" I went and got the food, brought it. Stacy, thank you so much for driving. We went and got the food, brought it back. Colin came down, helped me take all the pizzas up, and I'm like, "Okay, did you eat? Do you need anything? Do you need anything?" And so I was so worried about everyone else that I just kind of overstressed myself. And at the end of the day, it was just more, it was self-inflicted, 100%. I take full ownership for it. And it's that I didn't feel like I got out of that what I did last year. And all 3 of them were like, "Dude, what are you doing? Just play some games. It's okay. We've done everything we can do. Just sit down, have some fun." And my head was just wrapped around, "Y'all put so much work into this, picking out the stuff, getting the table stuff set up. I got to make sure everything's good." And it just ended up being a little lackluster for me, only because I got in my own head about it.
Yeah, no, it went fine. So, well, I'll try to reel you away from that next time. So. But I do want to tell a quick story about the Elder Scrolls thing, because I wish I had this recorded. I know, was it? Yeah, Ryan mentioned that, I think, someplace. But oh yeah, I wish you could see your face. So we were driving back because Derrick and I live kind of close, so I drove back from the con with him, and we were just talking in the car, and of course talking about Elder Scrolls, and Derrick's like, "Yeah, I'm glad I got this. I'm curious, what's gonna be in the box." I'm thinking like, "What do you mean?" Like yeah, I don't know if it's gonna be like just one thing, like one hero you can play, or one like character class. I'm like, I turned to him like,
copy.
"That's the full game," and his like face is like, "What?"
because I thought it was a once again, right? And so I thought it was a preview copy. So I was like, okay, well I'll play it, and then they'll tell me you need to send this on to X person. So I was like, okay, I need to hold on to the box. I need to make sure that I open it properly. And Steve was like, what are you talking about? I was like, well, it's only like one scenario, right? That's all I'm gonna get to play. He's like, it's the full game, dude.
There's a full game.
But like, yeah, you were so ecstatic, and I'm honestly like, I can't express it enough. I'm so happy for you that you got that hot game, and I can't wait for your content coming up.
Yeah,
tomorrow.
I'm excited for tomorrow.
Yeah, for sure.
So, but I just want to say I appreciate all y'all, people in chat, you three as well. It's been and continues to be a fantastic group and community, and all of you are just amazing to just be around. Like, we give each other a hard time, but it all comes from a place of love and respect, and I think that is just amazing.
For sure.
Right.
For sure.
We love everybody.
Yeah. Frederick had a really nice comment here, kind of for all of us, actually. He says, as far as I can tell, you are at least as professional as the guys that get paid to review games. Yeah, because none of us take
a lot.
None of us take
no
payment
money
for games. So for covering games, put it that way.
Yeah.
We just like to see people's dreams come true.
It's like Disney. But
except our parents are still alive sometimes. Why did I say that? Why do I open my mouth?
That's true, though. That's true, though.
I should say something and then mute, and then just see this. That would be good. Second word to come out of my mouth.
You need to have Robin there. She could just hit the mute once you start.
She'd be hitting the mute like all the time.
Why do we never hear Bairnt talking anymore? His mouth's just going.
I love watching Robin and Bairnt play games together, because when I do, Robin's just like, I'm sorry.
Sure. Okay, well, this has been going long. I know we could probably talk even more on this stuff, but I think this is probably a good stopping point. So I know, Colin, I appreciate you taking time every morning. I know you don't normally have mornings to do this, but I'm happy to have you here. So
yeah, not a problem. Thanks for letting me join. I appreciate it.
Real quick, do you guys have anything? Well, we mentioned Derrick's Elder Scrolls coming up tomorrow, so go check that out. What else? Do you guys have any plans, company challenges you guys want to share real quick?
Colin?
Kingdom Death, right? That's big.
Yeah, we're doing Kingdom Death on Tuesday. What else are you doing? What are you doing?
I just did Valorant right? That Steve convinced me to retry because I had a really bad first experience with the game, and then I loved it. So I've got a one for that, and then I want to do Battle. Right? Yeah, say it again.
Valor and Villainy, right?
Yeah, Valor and Villainy. Sorry, I said it fast. Ludwig's Labyrinth, and then I want to do the battle mode of Fateforge. I got the rulebook over here, so I'm pointing here for no particular reason. So I'm excited to actually try the battle mode of that one. I think those are the two big things. And then I know I've got Defenders of the Wild coming, and I have the new Deep Rock coming. I got my shipping.
Can't wait.
So, excited for those two. Thanks to Steve on that one too.
Did you get shipping label for Deep Rock?
Say it again.
Did you get shipping label for Deep Rock yet?
Yeah, I did. That's what I'm saying. It's supposed to be here Monday. So
no, I don't get a shipping label yet. Dang it.
Steve, you get yours, 4 months later, right? That's how it always works for you.
You got yours super early last time too.
I don't know why I get mine early. Minnesota's the place to be, I guess.
Mine. So
they got these expansions. Oh man.
Bairnt and I have a thing going. If Bairnt gets the game, I'm not going to get it for 3 to 4 months. And if I get the game, I think is it a couple of weeks for you before yours comes in?
I don't know. It depends on. It took me a month for Stars of Vicarios.
It did?
Something like that. It was pretty bonkers. Yeah. So, yeah.
That's okay. I can't complain. The games get covered, so yeah.
For me, we did forget to say Liquider helped us. We ate some island noodles. We found out the cheat code for the Gen Con is actually the Lucas Oil Stadium. They actually have like burgers and chicken fingers and things like that. Like, and they weren't bad. I mean, that was actually some of the good food. We actually stayed away from the trucks completely. Then we also got some Jimmy John's by DoorDash, and usually during Gen Con, at least one time, we all get together and go out to a nice, like, kind of at least a sit down kind of place to relax, re-energize. We all got like a pizza, the four of us, and everything. So we kind of do that at least once. So we did that, and that was really about all we had for stuff for eat. I get a cup of coffee from the press lounge every day, which is sweet.
Yeah, that was nice that evening where was it Friday evening?
Yeah,
Friday evening.
But that where Steve was like, the three of you were like, "Yep, we're gonna go outside of the con, find some place and just sit down." And we went to where didn't they have like go-karts or something?
Dude, they had like a huge go-kart racing thing in there. Surprise, surprise, Indianapolis has racing. Shocker. So yeah,
I'd never seen it in a pizza place. Like,
there's a window that you could look out. You could watch these people do the go-kart racing while you're eating your pizza.
Yeah, that was cool. But that evening I think that evening was probably the favorite evening of where it was just we all just went, hung out, sat down, talked, and ate some pizza.
It was good.
Yep.
Yeah.
We did have pocket jerky.
Yep.
I don't even know what
we
that
also we had backpack apricots.
That sounds like a euphemism. Pocket jerky sounds like a euphemism that I don't.
Derrick, why'd you say that? Because now it's coming here. I wasn't even thinking that.
I was not thinking that either, but apparently 90% of the chat was as well.
We're all 12.
Oh my god!
Oh, too funny.
Beef jerky in a thing with cheese.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I remember you whipping it out and putting it on the table.
Okay. Okay.
On that note, good to talk to everybody.
Okay.
No, I'm talking about regular beef jerky that you took out of your pocket and put on the counter. Where's your mind, Bairnt?
Hey, it's not
was
my
in a
fault.
cooler.
In the chat. You just said that right as they're talking about in the chat.
Oh gosh.
Bairnt's face is great.
Well, I'm not saying anything because I know that's gonna be foot in mouth part 3.
Bairnt didn't say it.
Well, I think
the spiders down here.
I think that's a good end for this chat. So, but thanks guys for joining me with this, and it was fun seeing you guys at Gen Con. It's always a blast, and I can't wait to do it again.
Yeah.
So
we are planning something else. So it's gonna
do our best. Steve, we've never heard from you. What are you doing this week?
SAS Rogue Regiment.
Sweet.
What?
SAS Rogue Regiment.
SAS Regiment?
Yeah, it's stealth game.
It's a stealth. Oh, is that the one you showed me on Polo?
Yeah.
Did you actually make it through?
I did.
Oh.
And I didn't roll the dice once in the whole game.
Nice.
It's a very different game. It's very cool. So
there will be no dice for this phase. Now with
wheat.
You know, pick the dice up and set it at a 1.
Right.
I love
that's a
that
good
video. That video is hilarious. Bairnt, if you haven't seen that, you need to see it. It's Euro games versus Ameritrash.
I'll send you a link. It's worth
it's
watching.
hilarious. And the guy's like Ameritrash. He's like, roll 8 billion dice.
Make a dice explosion.
Score. Then bring your battle score to triple the armor damage. It's like all this crazy stuff. Today we are going to play a game and that is about the Mediterranean.
Jamestown.
Yeah.
Jamestown.
I'll send you a link, Bairnt. You're gonna love it.
Yeah.
So.
He does really great work. He also did a one about a pro teaching somebody new magic for a card game
with cows and milk.
Good. It's so good and true.
Just send me a link to his channel. Don't send me a link to the video. Send me a link to his channel.
You may not want to watch his channel because you'll get stuck.
He is hilarious. He is hilarious.
Yeah, we'll send you a link, Raphael.
Steve will put a link to it in the description of the video.
Please make sure. Oh, and Steve will write in the description below a link to every game we talked about. How about that? Yeah.
Oh man.
And he gets he's part of the Amazon affiliate, so he gets a little cut of the.
Oh man, that was set up.
Oh my gosh. All right, that was good.
Pro ZD Hero Games, exactly. That's the one to search. Yep.
Yes, Pro ZD. There you go.
Yep.
Awesome. All right, I got to jump. I got to go.
Yeah.
Well, thanks
Y'all
everyone
rock.
for joining. We'll see you next time at the guild. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Right.